Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered what might be falling on you right now? We're not just talking frozen reptiles or unexpected space travelers. What fell from above has, in some cases, made headlines, baffled scientists, and terrified entire communities. Today we're counting down 25 of the most shocking things that have ever fallen from the sky. Let's start. On March 3, 1876, in Bath County, Kentucky, pieces of red meat, each about 2 inches wide, reportedly fell from a clear sky across several acres. Mrs. Allen Crouch witnessed the strange event while doing laundry on her porch. The meat appeared fresh, resembling beef or mutton from a butcher shop. Some curious locals claimed to have sampled it, describing the taste as similar to beef, lamb, or venison. One theory suggests that birds flying overhead may have accidentally dropped the meat, though no birds were seen, and the meat looked untouched. Scientists examined preserved samples, identifying tissue consistent with lung and muscle, but the origin remained unclear. Over 140 years later, the mystery of the Kentucky meat shower is still unsolved. Do you think this mystery could ever be solved, or are some things just meant to stay unexplained? Comment and chat with me. On March 15, 2018, a cargo plane departing from Yakutsk Airport in Siberia accidentally lost part of its load, over 9 tons of gold, platinum, and diamonds, when its rear cargo door malfunctioned. The Antonov An-12 aircraft, carrying 172 gold bars and other valuables worth an estimated $378 million, dropped material near the runway. Airport workers were surprised to see gold bars, some weighing over 40 pounds, scattered on the ground. Some initially thought it was part of a production or staged event. The cargo's owner, Chukotka Mining and Geological Company, launched a recovery operation using search teams and metal detectors, offering rewards to encourage returns. Authorities reported that the full shipment was recovered, although local speculation suggests a few items may have gone missing. The event stands out as one of the most unusual air cargo incidents in recent memory. In Florida, sudden cold snaps can cause iguanas to become immobile and occasionally fall from trees. When temperatures drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, these cold-blooded reptiles enter a temporary inactive state called torpor, where their bodies slow down to conserve energy. This happens often enough that the National Weather Service issues special alerts during cold weather. It's taken seriously. A mature iguana can weigh up to 20 pounds, posing a risk if it falls from above. As the weather warms, the iguanas gradually recover and become active again, often appearing startled or defensive. Wildlife experts advise against handling them, as they may react unpredictably when they awaken. In South Florida, seeing iguanas lying still on the ground after a cold night has become a strange but familiar part of winter. Before continuing, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, please hit the notification bell and subscribe. It helps this channel so much. And if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. A Russian fishing crew was sailing in the Sea of Japan when a cow unexpectedly fell from the sky, damaging their boat and causing it to sink. After being rescued, they explained what had happened, but authorities didn't believe them and briefly detained the group. Weeks later, the Russian Air Force confirmed that a cargo plane transporting livestock had released a cow mid-flight. The animal had become highly agitated, and to protect the safety of the crew and aircraft, they made the decision to release it. The cow fell thousands of feet and struck the fishing vessel, causing critical damage. Fortunately, the crew escaped safely in a life raft. The incident had initially been classified, which led to confusion until the military officially confirmed the story. In 2015, residents of Goulburn, Australia experienced a rare natural event. Millions of small spiders and their silk threads covered the town overnight. The phenomenon, known as ballooning, occurs when young spiders release silk into the air and let the wind carry them to new locations. Local resident Keith Basterfield described seeing his property coated in delicate webs, creating a scene that resembled nature-made decorations gently draped over trees and fences. While this behavior is common in some spider species, the Goulburn event stood out because of its massive scale. Scientists explained that the synchronized movement of spiders was likely caused by ideal weather and wind conditions. The spiders, mostly harmless money spiders, posed no threat to humans, though their sudden arrival surprised many locals. The event continued for several days, with waves of silk and tiny spiders drifting through the air. Experts noted that ballooning helps spider populations spread and is a natural, beneficial part of their life cycle, even if it caught residents off guard. On December 29, 2020, people in Oahu, Hawaii, saw a glowing blue object move across the sky and dive into the ocean. Videos on social media showed the object flying smoothly, changing direction, and staying lit before vanishing into the Pacific. The FAA said no aircraft were missing, and the military and Coast Guard denied any operations in the area. Some witnesses saw boats with lights nearby, but no official search was confirmed. The theories ranged from a meteor or debris to a secret test, but the object's controlled flight and silence from authorities fueled speculation. No explanation has been given, and the mysterious sighting still draws interest and debate. In August 1994, residents of Oakville, Washington witnessed an unusual weather event. Instead of rain, the town was covered in small, translucent blobs that appeared to fall from the sky over several separate incidents during a 3-week period. Officer David Lacey, on patrol during the first occurrence, noted the substance clung to his windshield and did not wash away like normal rain. These gelatinous materials settled on cars, buildings, and sidewalks across the town. Some residents and animals reported feeling unwell afterward, experiencing symptoms like dizziness and nausea. A few individuals sought medical attention, and local concerns grew as pets and livestock were also reportedly affected. One resident, Sonny Barclift, collected samples for lab testing. The analysis suggested the presence of biological material, including cells resembling white blood cells, though their origin remained unclear. The unusual event attracted scientific and public interest. While some theories included environmental explanations or the possibility of human-related activities, no definitive conclusion was reached. On January 15, 1877, the Memphis Daily Appeal reported a highly unusual weather event, snakes falling from the sky during a thunderstorm. According to the newspaper, small snakes, believed to be garter snakes around 12 inches long, were found across sidewalks, gutters, and yards over a 2-block area in downtown Memphis. The incident reportedly lasted about 15 minutes and surprised many residents. Witnesses described the animals as alive and moving after they landed, suggesting they may not have fallen from a great height. Some scientists at the time proposed that a tornado or waterspout might have picked up the snakes from a nearby area and carried them into the storm system before releasing them over the city. There was also some debate among observers, with alternative reports suggesting the creatures may have been large earthworms rather than snakes. This would align with other documented cases of worms being carried by strong winds or waterspouts. Regardless of the exact species, the event remains one of the most curious examples of weather-related animal transport in American history. Ann Hodges is the first recorded person to be struck by a meteorite and survive. On November 30, 1954, the 34-year-old from Sicily, Alabama, was napping on her couch when an 8.5-pound meteorite crashed through her roof, hit a radio, and struck her hip. The meteorite had traveled through space for billions of years before entering Earth's atmosphere at over 25,000 miles per hour. It created a fireball scene across 3 states. The impact left a grapefruit-sized hole in the roof and scattered debris, but the radio slowed the rock enough to prevent serious injury. Anne was briefly unconscious and had a large bruise but fully recovered. With odds estimated at 1 in 1.6 million, the event is one of the rarest in history. The meteorite, later named the Hodges meteorite, was taken by the U.S. Air Force but later returned after a legal dispute. Anne and her husband sold it to a museum for $1,200, about $13,000 today. The damaged radio is also on display. Although the incident brought Anne media attention, she chose to live quietly in the years that followed. In 2015, a photograph surfaced online showing what appeared to be a winged humanoid figure lying face down in a remote, rocky area. The figure was dressed in white robes, with large feathered wings spread out beside it. The image quickly went viral, sparking widespread discussion and speculation. Its timing drew extra attention, as it circulated shortly after NASA's announcement of Kepler 452b, an Earth-like planet located about 1,400 light-years away in the constellation Cygnus. Some online users speculated, without evidence, that the figure in the photo might be linked to otherworldly or celestial origins. Supporters of the fallen angel theory highlighted the detailed wings and human-like appearance, suggesting it was not a natural formation or man-made figure. Others strongly disagreed, calling the image a hoax. Photo analysts pointed out inconsistencies in the image, such as lighting and shadow mismatches, and suggested the figure may have been a carefully posed prop or digitally altered image. Skeptics proposed it was likely a mannequin or statue staged for dramatic effect. Since the early 2000s, two eerie images have circulated online, one showing a humanoid figure with a pig's head and another depicting dark, winged shapes falling from the sky. These photos sparked urban legends, with some claiming the Pigman was a 19th-century scientist whose obsession with experiments led to a disturbing transformation. The Pigman image resembles an old sepia-toned photo, showing the figure in period clothing inside what looks like a lab. The second image shows dozens of shadowy figures descending through clouds, which some viewers interpret as symbolic or ominous. Experts have analyzed both images and found signs of digital manipulation, such as reused elements and compositing techniques. Still, the photos continue to spread online, fueling internet folklore and showing how powerful visuals can shape modern myths. Have you ever seen an image online that made you question what's real and what's fake? Share it below. In January 2019, villagers in Murcia, Spain, discovered large metallic spheres scattered across the countryside. Each one weighed about 44 pounds and measured roughly 3 feet wide. Their sudden appearance overnight left residents puzzled and curious. The hollow, metal objects were initially approached with caution. Response teams conducted chemical, biological, and radiation checks to ensure safety. Media outlets quickly covered the story, and locals wondered how such heavy objects ended up in their fields. Some observers speculated the spheres could be satellite parts or space debris. However, no space agency reported any related incidents, and the results of official investigations were not made public. This lack of information led to a variety of interpretations, including the possibility of advanced technology or unknown aerospace material. Similar objects have been reported in countries like Australia, Brazil, and South Africa under similarly unexplained conditions. The spheres found in Spain were later removed for further study, but no official explanation has ever been provided, leaving the case open to interpretation. In February 2021, Mount Etna erupted, sending lava over 3,000 feet into the air and producing ash clouds seen from space. Volcanic rocks, some as large as basketballs and weighing over 100 pounds, fell across towns in eastern Sicily. These rocks, called volcanic bombs, damaged roofs, cars, and streets. Residents described the noise as loud and constant. Maria Consoli from Catania took shelter in her basement as rocks hit nearby homes. Black stones covered the area, making the landscape look unfamiliar. What made this eruption unusual was how far the debris traveled. Some rocks landed over 20 miles from the crater. The eruption drew global attention from scientists and media. Cleanup lasted several weeks. Crews removed tons of ash and rock, rooftops were repaired, and flights were delayed while volcanic residue was cleared from the airport. On July 10, 1976, a chemical plant explosion in Seveso, Italy, released a toxic cloud of dioxin into the atmosphere. The incident began when a reactor at the Iguanas plant overheated, sending about 6 tons of chemical waste, including TCD, a hazardous form of dioxin, into the air. The cloud was invisible and drifted quietly over nearby homes, schools, and farmland. Residents were unaware of the exposure. In the days that followed, local wildlife showed signs of contamination, and some individuals developed a skin condition known as chloracne. Authorities responded cautiously, but full evacuations did not begin until weeks later, after many residents, including pregnant women and children, had already been exposed. Long-term health studies have reported increased rates of certain conditions, such as cancer, diabetes, and developmental issues, among those affected. The disaster led to widespread reforms in chemical safety. The Seveso directive was introduced to strengthen industrial regulations and emergency planning throughout Europe. Vladimir Komarov was the first human to lose his life during a space mission, when the Soyuz 1 spacecraft suffered a fatal crash on April 24, 1967. A skilled cosmonaut and close friend of Yuri Gagarin, Komarov was chosen to command what was intended to be a key test flight for the Soviet space program. From the start, the mission faced technical issues. One of the spacecraft's solar panels failed to deploy, cutting power significantly. The automatic navigation system also malfunctioned, forcing Komarov to manually steer the spacecraft. Despite the problems, the mission continued. During re-entry, the spacecraft's parachute system failed, preventing a safe landing. The resulting crash ended the mission and Komarov's life. Reports and recordings from the mission suggest that Komarov was aware of the risks and expressed concern about the condition of the equipment. His words later highlighted the pressure and danger faced by early space explorers. The loss led to significant reforms in the Soviet space program, improving safety standards for future missions. Komarov is remembered as a dedicated pioneer whose mission contributed to progress in human spaceflight. In July 2018, residents of the La Sierra community in Chaco, Colombia, witnessed an unusual weather event, red-colored rain that lasted for about 30 minutes. While blood rain has been reported in other parts of the world, this case stood out due to its vivid color and duration. Local priest Father Bernardo Munoz described the liquid as having a striking resemblance to blood, noting its appearance and the red stains it left behind. Some residents interpreted the event as symbolic or spiritually significant, especially given the region's social challenges at the time. Historically, similar rain events have been attributed to natural causes like red dust, sand particles, or algae mixing with rainwater. In some cases, airborne microorganisms can give rain a reddish hue. Scientists initially considered such explanations for the Colombian incident. However, preliminary analysis of collected samples suggested the presence of organic material, though no conclusive source was identified. Some experts proposed industrial pollution or mining-related contamination as possible causes, but the exact origin remains unknown. The event received significant media coverage and sparked local and scientific curiosity. While many theories have been offered, the red rain over La Sierra is still considered one of the more mysterious weather events in recent years. Want more unbelievable true events that sound like science fiction? Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next sky-high shocker. While many strange sky events are feared, the annual fish rain in Honduras is celebrated. Every year between May and July, thousands of small silver freshwater fish fall during heavy storms, providing food for locals. Called lluvia de peces, or rain of fish, the event has been reported for over 100 years. The fish aren't native to nearby rivers but are edible and often still alive when they land, though some die on impact. The rain happens during strong thunderstorms and always in the same area, just a few square miles. Scientists believe waterspouts over the Atlantic Ocean, about 120 miles away, may lift fish into the air and drop them inland. However, this theory doesn't fully explain the event. The fish species don't match Atlantic types, and the timing is unusually consistent. Some researchers think the fish may come from underground sources brought up by heavy rain. Regardless of the cause, Yoro residents welcome the fish rain and hold an annual festival to celebrate. The event draws tourists, boosts the local economy, and has been featured in global media. For Yoro, it's a cherished tradition and a symbol of nature's surprises. In January 2016, residents of northern Vietnam heard loud crashes as 3 metallic spheres fell from the sky in Tuyen Quang province. The largest, about the size of a washing machine and weighing over 100 pounds, left a dent in a garden. The hollow spheres had scorch marks and rang when struck. Witnesses reported seeing a fireball and hearing booms before the impact. Some believed the objects might be from aircraft or military equipment. Authorities quickly investigated. With no immediate explanation, speculation grew, including theories about satellites or unknown technologies. Officials later said the objects were likely fuel tanks from a Russian rocket that had re-entered the atmosphere. Some locals remained skeptical due to the lack of markings and minimal heat damage. The incident highlighted the growing concern over space debris. NASA estimates over 100 tons of debris re-enters Earth's atmosphere each day, though most burns up or falls in remote areas. Blue ice is frozen sewage that can fall from airplanes when waste systems malfunction. Though rare, it's a real issue that aviation authorities deal with each year. In September 2018, a chunk of blue ice crashed through a home in Haryana, India. The family thought it was a meteorite and even stored pieces in their refrigerator. Their excitement turned to shock when officials confirmed it was frozen human waste from an aircraft. The blue color comes from chemical disinfectants used in airplane toilets. Normally, waste is stored in sealed tanks and removed after landing. But leaks can happen, especially in older planes or during extreme temperature changes. At high altitudes, leaking waste freezes instantly and can fall thousands of feet, potentially causing damage or injury. Most cases go unnoticed because the ice melts or lands in remote areas. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration receives dozens of such reports yearly. While most involve regular ice from aircraft, a few are confirmed as blue ice. Experts advise not to touch mysterious ice chunks and to report them to local authorities, as they may pose health risks due to exposure to untreated waste. On a stormy night in 1969, residents of Punta Gorda, Florida, woke to find hundreds of golf balls scattered across their lawns, driveways, and streets. The balls were clean, undamaged, and of various common brands. Police and locals were puzzled. The nearest golf course was several miles away and reported no missing inventory. Meteorologists suggested a tornado or waterspout may have picked up golf balls from a driving range and dropped them over the town. However, weather records showed no tornadoes that night, and no golf facilities reported damage. Despite the mystery, residents happily collected the balls, some filled bags and buckets. For local golfers, it was an unexpected gift. The event became a local legend, remembered as the night it rained golf balls. Some kept them as souvenirs, others used them on the course. While the true cause remains unknown, similar incidents have happened elsewhere with lightweight objects carried by strong winds. In the year 2000, near Fukang in China's Zhejiang province, a local resident found an unusual rock buried in the desert. It turned out to be a rare meteorite that had traveled through space for over 4.5 billion years before landing on Earth. Known as the Fukang meteorite, it is a type called palisite made of iron, nickel, and translucent olivine crystals. When backlit, the crystals give it a stained glass appearance. At over 2,200 pounds, it's one of the largest palisites ever discovered. Scientists believe the olivine crystals formed at the core mantle boundary of a destroyed asteroid, offering a glimpse into the violent early solar system. Dr. Alan Rubin of UCLA called it a time capsule from the birth of the solar system. Its beauty and scientific value make it highly sought after. Pieces have sold for more than $2 million. The rock had likely sat in the desert for thousands of years, slowly revealed by wind erosion. The finder was drawn to its metallic and glass-like look, rare in that environment. Today, slices of the meteorite are displayed in museums and collections worldwide. Each piece reveals a pattern of crystal and metal, reminding us that the universe still holds ancient wonders waiting to be found. In 2012, residents of Henan Province, China, witnessed blood-red rain that stained streets, buildings, and even a river. The rain lasted throughout the day, turning a Yangtze River tributary a vivid red. Unlike typical red rain caused by dust, this event had a strong metallic smell and caused skin irritation, nausea, and breathing issues. Hospitals were flooded with patients reporting discomfort. Scientists found unusually high levels of iron oxide and metals in the rainwater. Some blamed industrial pollution, others pointed to algae blooms lifted by wind. The government called it a dust event, but many locals were unconvinced. Residents described the rain as oily and hard to clean. Many blamed nearby factories, sparking protests and demands for stricter environmental controls. Despite investigations, no clear cause was ever confirmed. The Hainan red rain remains one of the most mysterious weather events in recent years. In March 2015, biologist Karsten Erstad was skiing in southern Norway when he found thousands of live earthworms scattered across deep snow. Despite freezing temperatures, the worms were moving slowly on the surface. Erstad, with decades of wildlife experience, was shocked. He estimated about 2,000 worms per square mile across 17 square miles. The area, over 4,000 feet above sea level, was too cold and acidic for earthworms to live naturally. The worms appeared to be common European earthworms, 2 to 6 inches long, with no visible injuries. Erstad mapped their locations and found them randomly spread across ridges and valleys. One theory suggested strong winds carried the worms from lower elevations, but weather records showed no unusual winds. Another theory pointed to migrating birds dropping the worms mid-flight. The discovery gained attention after Erstad published his findings. Though similar events had occurred before, none matched this scale. Some scientists believe changing weather patterns may be making such rare events more likely. In the summer of 2015, huge swarms of locusts invaded Stavropol, Russia, darkening the sky and blocking out the sun. At first mistaken for storm clouds, the swarms were made up of millions of insects moving together. The locusts overwhelmed roads, forced cars to stop, and created a loud roar with their wings. Within hours, they turned green fields brown, destroying over 800,000 acres of crops. A single swarm can eat as much as 10 elephants or 2,500 people in one day. The insects covered more than 200 square miles and stayed for days. The government declared a state of emergency and sprayed pesticides, but the locusts avoided treated areas. Residents were terrified by the noise and constant insect impacts, staying indoors. The destruction also affected wildlife that relied on plants for food. Scientists blamed the outbreak on perfect breeding conditions, wet springs followed by hot, dry summers. The event showed that even today, nature can easily overwhelm human efforts. In February 2007, orange snow fell across parts of Siberia, covering over 570 square miles and affecting more than 27,000 people. The snow had an oily feel, a metallic smell, and left orange stains when melted. Residents were alarmed. Many stayed inside, some felt nauseous, and even animals avoided the snow and water. Tests showed high levels of iron and other metals, but officials claimed it posed no health risk. Theories included a sandstorm from Kazakhstan, industrial pollution, or fallout from a rocket launch. Space officials denied the launch theory, citing regular launches without similar effects. Environmental groups pointed to industrial pollution as a growing concern. While colored snow has occurred before, the Siberian event stood out for its size and intensity. No cause was confirmed. The orange snow remains a strange and unexplained environmental mystery. From meat showers in Kentucky to orange snow in Siberia, we've journeyed through 25 of the most shocking and unbelievable things that have ever fallen from the sky. These events remind us that our world is far stranger and more unpredictable than we often realize. What's the strangest thing you've ever seen fall from the sky? Have you ever witnessed any unexplained phenomena that left you questioning reality? Share your experiences in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories that will change the way you see the world around you. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey through the most shocking sky falls in history. Until next time, keep looking up, because you never know what amazing discoveries are waiting to fall into your life. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.